Hello, my name is Danah Alawadhi, and today I'm going to be talking about how leadership led me to understand mental health. Growing up, I was like most typical kids, always smiling, always happy, and excited and extroverted, enjoying life as a toddler with my friends and family, and this was pretty much my life from the ages of 1 to 10, or at least all I remember. Progressing into later elementary school and middle school, I was much more of a chubby kid, as most people would say. My energy levels got lower. I don't remember being as happy-go-lucky as I used to be, and a big part of that came with my struggle with my weight. I started getting put on diets, started going to a kids' gym twice a week, and being encouraged to eat less desserts and be more mindful of the way I looked. This put a lot of pressure on me as a child, making it a lot harder for me to love myself and accept myself for who I was. This is still something I face today. Because of those things, I remember becoming more introverted. One of the things I loved doing as a kid was singing and participating in choir. In 4th grade is when I quit because I saw how frustrated my father was when our practices ran late, and as much as I enjoyed it, I wanted my father to not be upset with me. In 10th grade, I got the opportunity to be an exchange student in Missouri, where part of my exchange program was to get to do things that weren't in my comfort zone and volunteer more. That was an experience that led me to open up more and meet so many different people and get to know how to meet others. I also realized I had depression and anxiety around this time. Being put somewhere where I knew almost no one put into perspective how lonely it felt in my head sometimes. But that year also highlighted that it was okay to talk about it, and I tried to talk about it a little with some of the people I met. But mental health was something I tried to pretend wasn't there. This led me to start college at Purdue, which again put me in a place where I knew almost no one, but I was excited about the opportunity to expand my horizons and be around people from so many different backgrounds and walks of life. First thing I wanted to do was get involved in as many clubs as I could. Anything that sparked my interest, I signed up for and pursued. I wanted to put myself out there and get more leadership experience. I was able to obtain a position in an organization as a freshman, which made me feel so great about myself and was something that I wasn't expecting to get during my freshman year. Being put in that experience of being a leader for people who were much older and much more experienced felt like I was doing something I shouldn't be doing. Like I was wearing the shoes or the clothes of someone who wasn't me. I had support and help, but it takes more than that to be sure of yourself and what you're doing. After that experience, I kept wanting to get out more, meet new people, keep doing things that weren't in my comfort zone. Based on seeing my friends go through it during freshman year and their experience of it, I decided to take a chance, leap out of my comfort zone, and try going through formal recruitment for a Pan-Hellenic organization on campus. To sidestep a little bit, never in my life did I ever see myself joining a sorority. All I knew about these organizations is what I saw in the movies. No one from my home ever joined the Greek life community, and it was something scary to think about. But I saw how my friends were building these deep bonds with other women in these organizations, and I said, why not? Let me try this out. It won't hurt, right? The first weekend was a 3-day event. I had to put on makeup for the first time ever in college, and try talking to so many different people every single day. I think I talked to 30 women that first weekend, which was crazy to me at the time because I barely knew that many people on campus. But I had some really good conversations with the people I talked to. Then comes the second weekend of recruitment. I felt really ready for it. I got up early to do my hair, put on makeup, and put on a romper that made me feel good about the way I looked. And I went to meet with my Gamma Chis, who are the women who helped walk you through the process and got my schedule that day. And I was immediately heartbroken. I was really excited about one house, which one of my close friends at the time was in, and for some reason they decided to not invite me back. I questioned myself. Was I not good enough? Was I not having as good of conversations as I thought I was? Did I not look enough of the part to be considered? Am I not enough? I decided to withdraw from the rest of the recruitment process. Then, a few days later, on what was a day that you receive invitations to join individual organizations, I received a message about one of the sororities extending an invite to join. I was so confused. I didn't know this was something that could happen. And I was so scared because I didn't know who extended that invitation or the people in the organization. But I talked to some friends and they made me realize that I could try it out and just see how it worked and decide afterwards. That day was a whirlwind. I went to that house and I didn't immediately feel at home like they always say you do when you get to the right place. But I still felt very welcome. I met women from all different places and I was excited to see how this would go. I'm still in that house and am thankful for everything it has brought to my life. It has brought me a lot of people in my life that I don't know what I'd do without. It introduced me to my two absolute best friends who have been with me through thick and thin, and I will never have enough words to tell them how much I love them and thank them endlessly for being by my side. It connected me to different organizations and so many people on this campus that it made this campus feel so much smaller. But most importantly, it brought me a new perspective of how I view myself and my mental health. As you've heard it today, over the last 10 years of my life, I've had my fair share of ups and downs when it comes to my mental health. And a lot of that was an effect from the people around me, and it was also how I internally processed things and thought of myself. Something my sorority values is being an individual, and not feeling like you have to fit into a box to be a part of something bigger than yourself. This was sort of a foreign concept to me, because that's not how I grew up. I grew up in a society where materialism reigned supreme, but that never felt right to me. It didn't feel like me. To me, mental health was so much more than I realized. I realized talking about how I felt was okay, because surprisingly to me, a lot of people felt that way too. I felt supported for once in my life. I understood more and more over the years of meeting and connecting with people that it was okay for me to start counseling and taking care of myself. Because in the end, it wasn't taking away from who I was, but it was making me a better me. Thank you.